Hello, welcome back. My name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur show, and I felt moved to have this special message for you today. And I thought about this a lot, but I'm here to tell you, honestly, why I recorded this episode today. This week was a really busy week. This week also reminded me how many leaders are carrying more than they're willing to admit. Did for you this week? Maybe there was conversations which felt heavy, a decision which felt closer. Pressure showed up in real way. It was a really quiet way. I keep seeing the same pattern over and over again. Smart people, capable leaders, they have really good intention, but one thing is holding them back. And I found out this week what it is. Most of the leaders are being held back because there is a delay. So I want to record this episode today for leaders who feel unsettled, for leaders who feel a decision is waiting, but they keep pushing it off to tomorrow. The leader who is doing all the work, but he still feels there's no relief. This is not a motivational episode today. This is a clarity episode because pressure doesn't break leaders. I've seen it all week. That piece of delay breaks leaders. And you wonder, why does this matter to me? Because it's this week, it was a really good example. I talked to people from all over the world. We had 19 Zoom calls today, and I really wanted to record this episode because there was one thing which really, really hit home with me. And for me, that was this week that most leaders' problems don't start with bad ideas. They really start when decisions wait too long to be made. Because delaying a decision looks like, you know what, it's the responsible thing to do. You know, waiting sometimes sounds thoughtful. Waiting sounds disciplined. Leaders tell themselves that I just need more data. I need more information. I need more alignment. I need just one more conversation. In the meantime, momentum leaks out quietly. From my personal experience, hiring waits, pricing conversations stall, feedback just gets softer, directions feel a little more unclear. Everybody is busy. Listen, I see that. Everybody's busy all the time, but nothing is really moving forward. The gap between effort and progress is where most of the leaders get frustrated and where frustration grows. I see that so often, and I'm here to share a little theory. And I learned this the hard way. Some of the most painful moments in my career didn't come from making the wrong call. They came from waiting too long to make that call at all. I waited too long to hire somebody, even though I knew that our capability has been broken. I waited to charge more in our restaurant because we knew that we were worth more. And waiting just kind of felt safe. I waited to see that everybody knew because there was this uncomfort which really felt unnecessary at the time. And I'm being fully honest here. I waited because I felt smart. You know, I make the right decision. I waited. I want to get the extra data. I wanted to have that one more conversation. And I really felt in control. I felt like, you know, that's real leadership. But the truth is, and I know when you listen to this today, that happens to you because that extra cost, it always shows up and it shows up later. Burnout shows up first. Pressure follows right when burnout starts. And then there's momentum which just disappears. Nobody's moving, nothing is happening. And I learned, and that's really the one thing I learned this week. It's just really simple. Leadership, overall leadership pain often appears months after the moment where a decision should have been made. Does this resonate with you? Because we did an episode this week with the rising tide and we talked about the cost of inaction. Because there's real pressure. There's pressure does not just confuse leaders. Pressure exposes habits. How often did this happen to you? And by the way, I just wrote a book. I called it Under Pressure because I didn't know what else to call it. Because being under pressure doesn't mean I'm freaking out. I also realized that some of the pressure is self-inflicted. I also realized that we don't get anything done without pressure. Because when pressure rises, some leaders just slow everything down. Meetings turn polite, even though if they're not supposed to be polite, conversations get careful and decisions just drift. A strong leader responds differently. A strong leader decides early. A strong leader does not just, make that decision early, and it's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's just earlier. Actions creates clarity. And that was really clear this week. Because if there's one thing which cuts through all of that, is doing stuff about it. And I honestly feel that action creates that clarity. You do not need every answer to move. You don't need to adjustment, or you don't need to have that adjustments follows movement. Indecision creates that noise. Decisions creates focus. Teams do not need certainty. They need something solid to move forward on something which is really clear for them to move towards. And I have a little teaching moment for you this week. And it's a simple leadership test you can use right now. Just ask yourself, which decisions keeps turning when things get quiet? Not the loud, urgent ones. It's the quiet, persistent ones. Ask the cost. And that cost grows each week. You wait and you don't make that decision. So ask who pays the delay. And that leaders pay first. Happens all the time. And then it trickles down to your team because the team, has that cost of it later. And customers pay last. And there's a question that really never lies. And the question is really simple. If pressure doubles for you tomorrow, which decision would you make right there, right then, immediately? The answer tells you everything. And for me, that's so simple. And I want to share this again. If you go into your work piece of business, and it doesn't matter if you in charge, if you the owner, if you the chef, if you the manager, it doesn't really matter. Because if pressure doubles tomorrow, what is the decision you make right there, right then, immediately? I'm telling you, the answer tells everything. Because this pattern shows up everywhere. I see it in my business. Authors wait to publish. Leaders wait to speak. Experts wait on their own voice. Waiting never creates readiness. It's really movement that does. Audience follows action. Teams follows clarity. Momentum follows ownership, and you know that. Do you not build confidence first? You build it by simply deciding. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. Because I recorded this episode because somebody needed to hear this today. I know that because I've seen so many of my clients struggle with that this week. Maybe that somebody's you. Leadership does not require louder confidence. It requires earlier decisions. Pressure removes excuses, but it leaves responsibility behind. And here is your action or what you need to do. And that's really simple. Name one decision that you have been delaying. Just one. I just need you to make one decision. Decide something about that one thing you're trying to delay. Even if it's a small one, even a small one counts. And then if this episode helped you naming it, do not keep it to yourself. Share it with one leader who feels stuck between effort and progress. I often get stuck in this because for me, I want to have this conversation be of value to you. And for me, I wanted to bring something which is clear, which you could take action on today and have an impact tomorrow. So what I want you to do again, name one decision that you have been delaying. Just one. Decide something about that decision today. Even if it's a small one, because every small move counts. That's what I want you to do when we're done today. And then I want you to share in the comments below. What was that for you? What was that for one of your clients? What was it for somebody in your team? And if you want more conversations like this, I'm asking you to stay close. I want you to listen in because these are the moments where leadership gets lighter. And we all need somebody who sees in us what we don't see in ourselves. You need to decide, you need to move, and you need to adjust. It's as simple as that. So with that, my name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. Hopefully that was of value today. And if it was, please comment below. What was that one decision you took action on this week? Even if it's something small, just write it below. I'm curious to know what was it for you? What are you holding up? Because if there's one thing I learned, I'm telling you, every small decision you delay will not go away. It will cost you more in the end. And if I'm standing here today and I'm telling you I made or I held off of making decisions, which I should have made months ago, weeks ago, or yesterday, because that one decision, it does really three things. It gets you to the direction where you want to go, number one. The second thing is it makes you feel lighter, even if that decision is a tough one. Just knowing that it was done, it makes you feel lighter. And when you do this, it's the third thing, which is the good thing, is it gets easier for you to make those decisions. I don't want you to hold off to tomorrow. There's something also I learned this week. I was, and a lot of people which know me, I used to work 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And now where I try to cut back, I feel like I'm not getting as much done as I used to because I spend 4 to 5 hours less in the office here. But I also realized there was decisions I held off making because it just seemed like the right thing. I don't know all the stuff which I need to know. I just need one more conversation. I just need one more piece of data. I'm encouraging you, make decisions quick and change your mind slowly. And if this was of value today, please comment below. My name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur, and I see you next Wednesday. Thanks, everybody.